The context. Valilus, or just Val, was an indie VTuber who roughly debuted around February 7th, 2025, and was a part-time streamer that primarily did just chatting and Overwatch 2 streams. On October 26, 2025, Val would announce auditions for a startup VTubing group called Love Bomb, a Jirai-themed streaming group that advertised as a close group of streamers with elements of a traditional idol agency such as Hololive. A respectable amount of applications and support were received, which led Val to graduate as a VTuber on November 23, 2025, to fully focus on her project, choosing to rebrand into a startup VTubing agency known as Ketsui Kollective, or KeiKo for short. The Callout. On January 5, 2026, a Twitter user by the name of The Bear of Truth would post a series of tweets calling out alleged business malpractice and employee abuse in Ketsui Kollective by linking 5 separate Google documents, with the first one being the primary document and the rest being supplementary evidence. The callout focuses on 2 distinct individuals: Vel, the founder and wave manager of KeiKo, as well as a talent of one of KeiKo's groups, Love Bomb, and Karma, the former CEO, primary artist, and wave manager of KeiKo. The accusations. The primary document accuses Vel and Karma of talent mistreatment, open favoritism, unprofessional behavior, improperly signing in a minor into the agency, and doxing private information. When it came to allegations against Vel specifically, Vel allegedly doxed 2 of KeiKo's talents, Lily and Poppy, during the scheduled chemistry tests through showcasing an aspect of their PLs that have the potential for easy recognition to a group of auditionees. This wouldn't be the only instance of privacy violations within the agency. Allegations of inappropriate conduct relating to and around minors were also made against Vel, with instances such as comments about 18+ devices around minors, quote-unquote lolicon-esque comments being made in the server, and suggestive comments about minor characters. These minors would be confirmed to be minors in the past by Vel herself during the chemistry test. The document emphasized heavily on talent and staff mistreatment by showcasing a few instances of alleged favoritism between certain talents and/or groups, unreasonable expectations for talent behaviors and standards, and explicit complaints from staff members regarding their roles in the agency. Instances of manipulation were also present. When it came to allegations against Karma, most of the allegations against him were similar to Vel's, with the primary focus being on Karma's mistreatment towards talents. A supporting document called Lily Riri's POV, which shows 7 pages of an interaction between Lily, shown in the screenshots as Riri, and Karma, where the two would have a heated discussion over Lily's attempt to essentially have an HR meeting with the auditionees, discussing their potential problems with the agency, so that Lily can discuss them with KeiKo staff. Karma wouldn't be a fan of that, however, as Karma believed that Lily was disrespecting staff's authority by posting that announcement without Karma or Vale's permission, and stated that it was management's job to gauge everyone's feelings regarding the agency. Lily's main argument would be that an HR type of meeting, where the talent could express their feelings without management looming over them, is necessary for everyone to see where things are good and things that could use improvement. The meeting wouldn't end up going through. The contracts. Bear would link 2 skeleton contracts from KeiKo, the talent agreement and the staff member agreement. Both of these contracts contain an NDA and outline the professional obligations and conduct for the signee. The problem with these 2 contracts, however, is that they are very legally risky, with several issues being prominent in each contract. Before I discuss the contracts, a few points of defense I'd like to make should Ketsui Kollective attempt to raise legal complications. I am legally allowed to discuss these leaked contracts under the Supreme Court precedent Bartnicki vs. Vauber, as this is a matter of public concern, and I play no part in obtaining them. The inclusion of the text of the contract falls under fair use for the purpose of criticism, commentary, and news reporting. No false statements of fact are being made, and I'm not telling anyone to break contracts or not to sign contracts. Analysis of the text of a likely void contract is not tortious interference. From my analysis as a non-lawyer who is simply giving an opinion, here's a quick run-through of potential concerns a potential talent or staff member may raise. For the talent agreement, the talent has no defined payment agreement. The agency doesn't define the minimum quality or effort for a talent's personal stream. The talent could theoretically get away with streaming themselves IRL on a different account. The agency has a broad termination power due to generalized termination clauses. The termination clause is asymmetrical overall. The talent can ignore any new rules or mandates if they don't sign anything new. The talent can maliciously comply with several clauses to refuse certain tasks. And the agency's zero-tolerance environment for NSFW content can backfire on agency staff. For the staff member agreement, the staff member has no defined payment agreement as well. The staff member can, so long as they disclose it, work for other agencies. The staff member has no defined duties. The staff member has no defined notice of departure period. and the agreement has very vague conduct rules. While the contracts were not written with the usage of generative AI, which I can respect, the contracts failed to define necessary clauses that would not only protect the talents of the agency, but also make the contracts legally valid, especially when consideration is not defined in either contract. The aftermath. Because of the lesser known nature of this callout, the aftermath was quite minimal. Shortly after the release of the documents, the Love Bomb Twitter account would be deleted, with no internet archive of it even existing. Val and Karma would remain silent regarding the situation. However, whether it was due to the callout or just simply being inactive in the past is more or less debatable. As with all my videos, do not harass anybody in and outside of this video.